So this documentary here, it's called Coconut Revolution, and I believe it was made in 99, 98 maybe. So the struggle that they document in the movie of the island of what they're talking about is the island of Bougainville. And Bougainville is an island. It's in the South Pacific. It's, if you know where like Australia is, and like New Zealand's off to the side, and Papua New Guinea and is right above it. It's kind of like that misshaped island right above it. It's always split in two on the map. Bougainville's next to it on, yeah, on this side of it. So Australia's here, Bougainville's here. Quick search will show it on a map. Um, so in, I don't even know the years, or I don't know any years or numbers. I don't look this shit up before I make these videos. I probably should. But um, if you're that interested in facts and figures, look them up and then we'll talk about it. um, so it started, in the with I guess I don't know when, and it's earlier in the century. There was a British mining company that set up a mine in the center of the island, and you can actually go to Google Earth, if you have that program, and find Bougainville on Google Earth, and you can see this old, like the mine, and how much damage it did to the landscape of the island. It's severe. It's very severe. And in the movie they'll show the sides that were the sides of hillside of hills that have been stained from all the chemicals and shit, and a lot of the water's undrinkable because of it's poisoned with lead and all kinds of good stuff. So what these islanders decided to do was drive the company out themselves, take it upon themselves to oust this foreign mining company. And really, regardless of the means they used, I don't know that there's a single anarchist I could think of that would be against people taking their own rights into their own hands. And this is what they did there. And not only did they take control of what was theirs, the island that was theirs, they used only available resources to do it. And what that entails is basically using jungle wildlife that was found natively there. And it provides a good example for using whatever resources you have at your disposal to ensure your survival. Excuse me. This is why I call it eco-anarchism, because that's what they did. That's what it was. It was them using natural resources and natural processes to take power for themselves, to take the governance of their own lives into their own hands. Now, like most other indigenous movements, their goal is to create a state, because they want to be recognized and they don't want to be invaded anymore. That's their main motivation for wanting a state. And again, if you look at that video, I've looked at my little Google or not Google, whatever the hell it's powered by, the trends, and there are people from down there watching that video. Of course, I want to know everything about this situation. I'm interested in it. So if I'm wrong about anything, by all means, correct me, please. But from what I can find out, it's pretty accurate. These people generally they just want to be left alone. Like most other indigenous people, same thing with the people in East Timor. They just want to be the fuck left alone. And yet, because we force people to to modernize, once these cultures are exposed to industrialization, they generally can't survive then, because people leave the farms, people leave the way they were using to produce food, and go to the cities where there's the work, there's that they perceive, where what they perceive as a better life. These societies are almost always close knit and, yes, much more egalitarian than your average westernized, developed, atomized society. So, to me, this movie provides a good example. And it is overlooked. Someone said that in the comments on the other video. It is overlooked because I haven't seen it many places. Al Jazeera English did run it, and does run it a few times too. Um, and it's a great um, way to understand, because people think that the only way to get something that you can use as a fuel is to take it out of the ground, and you can just grow it. You can just grow. There's lots and lots. It's not just coconuts. There's lots of other plants and crops which can be used to harvest oil, usable oil, in the exact same way he takes that jug of coconut oil and puts it into the truck, and he's running the truck off of that coconut oil. You can take and use, well, I always point to hemp oil, because it's here in America. Hemp grows like crazy. It does. It did before 1933, before the Tax Act was put into place. Look at, and again, I don't look up numbers. I should have looked up numbers for this. But look up what the state of Mississippi produced in 1932. Some of the highest some of the biggest, hemp production in the history of the world. The land here is really good for growing hemp, and you can produce a lot of it, much more, you know, uh, yield per acre, I guess it's called, than like even corn or any other crop that's used as an energy source. Much more. I mean, the comparison, there's really no comparison to corn. I think it's like 4-to-1 with corn and 9-to-1 with hemp, something like that. Again, I didn't check my numbers, but off the top of my head, and that has to do with how much energy per unit. And 4-to-1 is really good. That right now, I think most of the modern ethanol plants are only at 2-to-1 or something like that. That has to do with how much energy you get out of so much crop or whatever, something like that. Excuse me. So yeah, this can be done not just with coconuts like they do it, like they show here. It's about using whatever is local to you, and whatever grows or is indigenous to that area. And in that way, it is primitivist, or feeds into that a way to go about society which is green or ecological, or that doesn't use the environment against itself, but instead uses what's available in the environment to sustain life. Uses the environment for the survival of everyone.